I saw 11:11 earlier. Actually, my mama noticed 11:11, and we did our usual energy thing and mentioned just peace and love and healing. And my mama noticed it, so we focused at the same time. And I sat in there, and at about, well, actually a few minutes ago, I sat in the other room, and I sat there for what felt like 30 minutes to an hour. And we talked and talked and talked and talked, and I got up and I sat up, and then I sat on the ottoman, and all of a sudden I decided to lay on the floor. And all of that happened, and it turned out, she said, "How long did it feel like passed?" And I said, 30 minutes, maybe an hour. And she said, "It's only been 4 minutes. Yeah, just 4 minutes. And it felt like 30 minutes to an hour had gone by." And I was sharing about how I used to talk to the librarian in elementary school, and I would get out these huge space books, and I would just look through various places of space and astronomy, and I would point to a place and say, "That's where I'm from." Now, I wonder what the librarian thought about that, especially not being given that knowledge from anyone in my life. And I would always focus on prophecy, and particularly end times prophecy and things like that. And no one was giving me that information. Yes, my parents are spiritual and believers in Jesus Christ, like I am. But they had not bored into my head we were living in the end times or anything, but that it was just in my mind, in the last days or in the new age and all of that, all these things. But 11:11, I've noticed a lot, and it's like confirmation of certain things. And let's see what else. Today, this evening, there was we were gathered for a birthday party for my cousin. Well, I should say yesterday evening. It was Friday evening. Her birthday was a couple of days ago. And one of the family members all of a sudden mentioned their memory of this cat. And how she remembered Nana loving that cat, or bringing that cat in, Papa taking care of it, loving the cat. It was orange, it was a tabby cat. And all of a sudden, and she has no memory of it. One of my uncles had no memory of it. He said, her dad said, "I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember." He looked bewildered. And half the table looked bewildered. And I said, "I feel like I remember that cat." Because one of my cousins, he loved that cat, and then it ran off and just disappeared. And she didn't remember it. She remembered it, but her dad didn't remember it. My Nana didn't remember it, and some others didn't remember it. But one of my other cousins remembered it. So, just thought I'd share that. Kind of interesting. I mean, I'm not giving any names or anything. I never do give names in these videos for purposes of privacy. But it's just an interesting thing that happened. Where there's two different alternative memories split. And he said, "Am I going crazy?" He was like, "What, am I going crazy?" He said, "I'm not crazy." And my other cousin said, "Of course, no one said you're crazy. He just doesn't remember what you do." But when you try to talk to extended family members, they think that it's like they don't really get things like that at all. I'm lucky I have you all and my parents to share things with, because we have our memories and we know our memories, and that's that. But when it comes to extended family members and other people out there, they don't always get it. There's just like things just are the way they are. There's just coincidence. That's the problem I have with so many people out there. They're like, "Well, that's just coincidence." Because I'll talk about blowing light bulbs. I've tried to mention in the past, blowing light bulbs, messing up computers screwing up on me, melting down, or at least looking like that way, and messing up the motherboard and processing units and everything in it. And they'll be like, "Oh, that's just coincidence. That's just coincidence that all that happens around you." There comes a point when it's no longer coincidence. And I really, at this point, just like they stated on that show, believe there are no coincidences. I can't see that. I also seen a lot of planes, military jets, the blue jets, maneuvering around, doing military maneuvers all day long. It was really strange seeing 5 at a time go over and over constantly. But that was an alternative memory that various members shared, and I found that to be quite something when people, but you just can't say it because they don't understand it. But I was in there I was in the bedroom earlier and 4 minutes had gone by. And tonight minutes go by and it feels like hours. It feels like an hour or more. Hopefully it stays that way tonight so that you know, and have a good sleep, get some good rest. Sorry, some tweets just got retweeted and I didn't turn off the audio. That's going to be loud. I do apologize for that. But this screen recorder does not let me turn the audio off easily without making a lot of noise, and it does not work well. I can't mute it without you hearing it buzz, so I don't want to do that right now. But yeah, there's so many things that are happening, and various things that we notice. I'll share all of the good things, or the more positive things, not necessarily like the AI things, and the things of where they're going to do this computer system that's going to put you in a database of whether you're going to be good or bad, whether you're likely to be a criminal or not, or whether all those kind of things, and they recognize it to recognize you, or program it to recognize you, and all of that. I'm not going to talk about all of that for this video, because you already know. But the 11/11, and the fact that that happened at this birthday party, we went to Red Lobster, and that birthday party was where that happened. They shared an alternative memory. So, alternative memories happening there. Pretty interesting. Let's see, there was one more thing. Oh, I was focusing energy Sunday night in a restaurant because the radio was driving me crazy. My energy was heightened. I was focusing energy. Mama seen this happen. And then suddenly the radio shut off. About a minute after I stopped focusing, the radio shut off, and then a vehicle outside that no one was in started going, the alarm started going off on it. And that used to happen to me a lot as a child. Mama said, I see it. I mean, I heard it. And that used to happen to me quite a bit as a child. And I would just walk by a vehicle and the alarm would suddenly just go off on it, or it would lock or unlock. And the vehicles are doing that to me right now a lot. Tonight, I walked out of the Nissan, walked from the Nissan, and the front door locked on it, locked and unlocked. Luckily, the rest of the doors stayed unlocked, but the front door, the driver's side door, did not. It just went crazy. We were in town, and all of a sudden, this happens a lot. This Muslim Hindu-looking guy, Islamic Hindu-looking guy, he was upstairs in this place, and we'd gone to the Pilot Travel Center, and that's the cat behind me. But we had gone to the Pilot Travel Center, and he was like, did this little bow, and he just stared in awe at me. They do that a lot. It's really weird. Muslims and Hindus do that a lot to me, and they'll be like, I said, excuse me, and he said, no. He said, excuse me, my friend. He said, you're fine, brother. And he told me to go first, that I'm first. And they do that a lot. They'll hold the door open for me. They'll just do a bow. They'll just look at me in awe. It's very strange. It's something like they can see some kind of an unusual something. I don't know. And maybe they can see that electricity and energy. But they do that a lot to me. And people will treat me with respect and just randomly give me things. And it's just something strange. But I appreciate it every time. What else was it that happened today? Well, I'm not going to share that one. That was pretty interesting as well, but I'll save it for another video. Some people have been sharing about hearing and seeing things a lot. I did a UFO footage video. And they also talk about spirit activity happening, which has also been rampant. I've been hearing a lot of voices. My senses have been heightened. Objects have been disappearing and reappearing, and that is getting so old. The keys, I could have them around my neck, and all of a sudden they'll be in Mama's purse, zipped up. I sound like Yogi Bear. All of a sudden they'll be in Mama's purse. That's good.
Yogi, where were they? You said they were put up in where? Just appeared in a In a what?
In a picnic basket.
In a picnic basket? Well, that is weird. Yogi?
You got that right.
But how did it...
I don't know. Quantum physics, mechanics, and parallel, whatever realities, I guess we're shifting. It's hard for a lot of people to understand and explain, but it's just very deep. I'll tell you, very deep. And the keys just, boom, appeared, disappeared. Many people have been sharing appearing and disappearing items with me today. And the Bible also talks about crystals, stating that the kingdom of heaven will be used with various crystals and different stones because of their divine properties and connection to the divine, to the source. So that's an interesting fact as well. Look up mud fossils as well. That's interesting. And I've been talking to Kelly Marie Alaska about that a lot. So many things happened today. And just so many things, people will say something and it's like, wait, this has already happened. This entire ordeal, this entire event has already happened. But yet it happened for the first time for some people. Let's see. There's just so many different things. There really is. There's just so many. Time just being way off, just completely off. Things being wackadoo, as some would say, wacky, just crazy. But those files, the UFO file things being released now and all of that, but I do believe there to be a sinister agenda possibly behind it, even though some of these things are legitimate. So many of them are legitimate, what we experience. I know for sure. I can just think of these things. I used to be able to just summon them, boom, there they were. Think of them, there they were. And, but only of positivity. That's what I would try to do. And as far as these UFOs and things like that. But people have been describing these strange scratches and voices. I've been hearing a lot of spirit activity. They say that during abductees will experience spirit activity, paranormal, supernatural activity. I experience it a lot. And been seeing and hearing things quite a bit. So, with that being stated, I'm sleepy now. I'm going to have to get a little bit of rest. So, peace and much love, everyone. I'm signing out. My links are below if you'd like to show your love and support through PayPal, or if you'd just like to email me. Signing out. I'll talk again soon. Hopefully.